Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the barn out here at St. Bernard Acres. It's, shall we say, long in the day, and the sun is setting back there, so you have to excuse any lighting issues as the sun's trying to come through the slats in the barn. I got a bunch more electrical supplies. I thought I'd show you what I'm going to be using. I got a late start out here today because Gail had work today. Tomorrow I'm going to be roughing in the electric in the tool room. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll show you some of the supplies I got to get started getting this ready in the barn. I had a $50 gift card that you know who sent it to me. Seaway. So I splurged on something that I really didn't need to buy, but I like it. I'm anxious to use it because I'm going to be doing a lot of wire stripping. And this is, so I splurged and bought these automatic wire strippers. You pick the gauge and the depth and it strips them just that easily. So I've got a lot of stripping of wires for receptacles and switches to do. That's going to be nice. Instead of using the utility knife, working your way around it, pulling it off, or using the old wire gauge ones. So thank you for letting me buy these. I also picked up some double gang boxes because in the tool room I'm going to be putting 5 of these in with double receptacles in each one. And because all of the tools that I have to charge, all the batteries I got to charge, and they're going to go along the wall where the workbench is going. So I'm going to rough all that in tomorrow, and then I have some single ones for the light switch. I got all the boxes. I got these wire nuts to make pigtails with for the ground wires. These are really neat how these work with a little hole in them. I got some of those. I got a pack of wire nuts because all I'm wiring right now is just the tool room. I got a bag of staples because I got to run the home run all the way across all of this and down into the tool room. Had a bunch of receptacles. So I am going to be doing some wiring. I've got 14-2 wire for all the light circuits and some 12-2 for the 20 amp receptacles. The lights will work on 15 amp. Yes, I decided to move the camera because I didn't like the light I saw in the camera. I didn't like it. My wire, 15 amp wire for lights, 20 amp wire for all the receptacles. I showed you all that stuff that I bought. Now I have here, let me open this up. I got a package from Russell. And I went to the post office today and picked this up. And I'm pretty sure what it is. Essie. A great knife. Look at this. National Electric Code 2023 edition. All the indexes, look, oh wow. Now check that out. Thank you, Russell. I'm not an electrician, but man, let me tell you about codes. I don't have any codes out here. I don't have any inspectors out here. All this is going to be installed by me and inspected by me. But the codes are written and enforced for safety reasons. Me, I'm not an electrician. I'm not a certified electrician. So this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not take this as an instructional type video so much. But that book will help me be safe. Along with the book I have on wiring and what I've been learning about wiring, I can go through that book and make sure I'm doing everything up to code. Because I would like it to be up to code because I'll feel safer. My family's going to be living in that house. The more I can do on my own, the more I learn, the less money I have to spend, and I need to do it safely though. That's what I need to make sure of. That book is going to give me all the code so that I know how to do everything. So thank you, Russell. That's going to be great. All right, tools. I got my lineman's pliers, some needle nose, some screwdrivers. About all I need for tools. A hammer, because these get put up against a stud and then you pound them in. I'll show you how all that works. But those are some supplies I picked up. I've got another roll of 12-2 wire down here. I've got the better part of a roll in there left over from the cabin. And I've got 2 more rolls of 14-2 that Home Depot sent me, and that's the one I was telling you about. I don't know who's paying for it. Oh man, I love these things. Wow, this is gonna be great. Oh, what a time saver. Especially for somebody like me. So let me show you what I've got here also. This is, let me adjust the camera. This is a 125 amp load center, or sub panel, if you will. And I bought this as it sits off of Marketplace for $40. A guy was remodeling his house and he used this for temporary power. He hooked up all these receptacles. These are all 20 amp receptacles. I like those. I'm going to be using these throughout the barn when I wire up various receptacles in the barn. Those ain't cheap, the 20 amp ones. This is what I really wanted. This load center, I'm gonna take it apart. There's all the breakers in it. It's got 6 breakers for these 6 out. These are all 20 amp breakers, I believe. And yep, they're all 20 amp breakers. I don't know why he did it like this. I don't know how he used this. But this was his electric for a while in his house. And I've got about a 50-foot, 30-foot length of entrance cable. So I'm gonna take this out, show you what's inside this box. And I'm gonna disconnect all of these receptacles so I can take them off and reuse them. Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the barn out here at St. Bernard Acres. Today I'm gonna finish dismantling all this morning. First thing I'm gonna do. Yesterday, you remember, I took all the circuit breakers out, disconnected all those, disconnected the main feed that was coming in. Now I want to get all these off. He's got like 3 or 4 drywall screws in the back of these boxes. And I'm not going to try to take all that out. These boxes aren't that expensive. I don't know. This was an interesting way he did this. I don't know if these are even salvageable. I'm gonna have to get a flashlight. I do kind of need to get them out of the way so I can get this wire out of here and disconnect my Romex so I can pull the wire through, because it's going to be too hard with all this up here. So let me go to work on this. This is my sub panel, my load center, my breaker box, my service panel. It's got many names. To me, it's just a sub panel because this is going to be get fed from the main panel. So this is a sub panel. There's only one bar in here. There's not a separate neutral bar and ground bar. This box has to be grounded on its own. A ground wire doesn't come with it like the main does. So I'll have to drive a ground bar in the ground here outside the barn and run a ground up to it so it's grounded. And then my neutral wires and my ground wires can all go in this one bus bar. That's what the sub panel does. It gets its power from this 224 wire that I bought. And what's going to happen is this wire is going to come in, if I can make it stretch, if I can do this. So, see the wire with the white stripe on it? That's the neutral. These two are hot wires. What you have coming into your house for service is 240 volts. There's 120 volts on this wire. There's 120 volts on that wire. These two hot wires connect into these lugs right here. That gives you 120 volts on this side, 120 volts on this side. That's all you need for your 110 stuff. I'm putting a 20 amp breaker in here. I'm going to use the 120 volts from this side if this breaker's over here. And there's going to be a hot wire come in, a ground wire, and a neutral wire for my circuit. This will control my circuit. This will feed the electric to it. The neutral wire will go on this big lug here, and the ground will go on here that I put in the ground and bring the wire up. It's going to go on here. So hot, hot, neutral. Hot, hot, neutral, and ground. That's how a sub panel works. This is 125 amp. I'm only going to be running 50 amps to it. So it really doesn't matter too much. I found this whole thing, well, I told you in the beginning of the video, for 40 bucks on Marketplace. So I got a heck of a deal on this. But that's how, now that I've got it all taken apart, that's how the service panel works. And then this cover will go back on it. And you'll have your circuit breakers in there. And I'll mark on here, tool room, basement, wherever, whatever circuit that breaker's controlling, I'll mark what it is. So if I have to turn something off, I can come up here and kill the breaker. That's how simple that is. This is going to go on the wall. This one I have to run upside down. So, because this has got the feed from the top and the all the wires going out the bottom. I am going to do it just the opposite. My feed is going to come from underneath the barn up, and all my wires are going to come out and up. So I'll turn the box upside down, which is no problem. You can do that with this kind of box. I can get away with that. But yeah, that's how easy. If this was a main panel, these wires would screw into a 100 amp breaker or a 200 amp breaker, to where you could disconnect this and kill the power to the entire box. Being just a load center, it doesn't have that. If I want to kill the power to the whole box, I'll have to do it from inside the house. I could put a disconnect on top of, what would be the bottom of it. I can put a disconnect down here, run the wires into the disconnect, from the disconnect into this. That way I would have a thing here just to trip it, and I would kill the whole barn. Now that I'm mentioning that, I may wind up doing that. It wouldn't be that expensive to buy a 50 amp disconnect. I could plug that in first, then plug this in. That way, if something happened, I can kill the power to the entire barn. So I may wind up doing that now that you made me think of it. Let me put this up. And this wire, I got an 8 gauge, or 6 gauge, this is 6, the ground for this, that I don't need. But I can always use 6 gauge wire, so as I lay this in the ground and run it, I'm going to take that 6 gauge off of there. This is where I'm going to be mounting this, on this post here. Remember I said I was going to do it upside down. So let me see if I can do this one person and nobody holding it, because let me see if I can come up with something here. Well, if I can get one screw started, I should be okay. I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not. This is where sometimes it helps to have a second person. Okay. I forgot this old hard wood. See if I can use an impact driver on this. All right. Okay. That's interesting. There we go. Now, so I set it right on that nail there. Hopefully I will be level enough. We will be right there. So, see if I can do this again. Nice. Who needs two people? I know code says the highest breaker can't be past 5 feet or 6 feet, 7 feet, something. I don't remember. Anyway, I can get to all of them with ease, and I'm 5'10". All right. Yes, indeedy. Okay, now that leaves me room. Okay, get back. That leaves me room to put my disconnect here, and my feed wires going from the disconnect into here. I have to buy a 50 amp disconnect. But yeah, there you go. That's how easy it is to install a sub panel without wiring or circuit breakers. And if I wanted to be cute, I got that now. See if I got any 15 amp circuit breakers. I don't know if my 15 amp breakers will work or not. Because they're a different style. Come on, dude. There's a 20. A 20. A 15. No, that was a 20. 20. 20. See if a 15 will work. Oh yeah. Like I said, they're different style, different manufacturer, but it's basically the same thing. There we go. Duh. All right. Just so I don't lose anything. I have 15s. I have 20s. These will be these 20 amp will be for all my receptacles throughout the barn. I'm going to add, this is going to be for all the lighting in the tool room. This is going to be for lighting. These are 15 amp because that's all you need for lighting. A breaker for all the lights in the rest of the barn up here. A 15 amp for lighting down below because I'm just going to run some lights down there. There'll be a circuit down below for receptacles throughout. You can put a lot of receptacles on a 20 amp breaker. So I'll put, a half a dozen receptacles down in the bottom of the barn. I don't know what, the chicken coop's going to be down there. I might want to put a heat lamp down there for a brooder. Things like that. Thinking ahead, I'll go ahead and run the stuff. But yeah, there's my service panel ready to go. Now I just got to run the wiring to it. That's how easy that was. Alright, welcome inside the tool room where I'm going to be roughing in the electric right now. I'm going to put the boxes in and run the wire through and run the home run over to the service panel I installed. Originally I was going to bring a 15 amp circuit over here for the lights and then run a 20 amp circuit over here for receptacles. Well, that's a waste of 60 feet, 50 or 60 feet of 14-2 wire. There's no need to do that. I can bring in the 20 amp, put a switch here for the lights, then come off of that switch with pigtails. That way the switch operates independently of the receptacles. The switch doesn't have to be on for the receptacles to be hot. But I only have to bring one wire over and drop down in here. Let's take care of this wall. These are the boxes I'm using. I've got these and these double boxes, which is what my receptacles are going to go in. That way I will have 6 receptacles on this wall. That's plenty to plug in my batteries and all that kind of stuff. And these boxes are so simple to use. They have little flanges on here, little pokes sticking out that you put up against the stud and tap the nails in. This is set up so this is in the right position. When you put 1/2-inch drywall over here, it'll be flush with this box. That's why that is on there, and that's why you put it up against the stud like that. And there's my light switch. When I walk in the door, I can turn the lights on. Now let me put up a couple of these. Same thing, same idea. I'm going to put one here. Put one like this. And I'm going to go right below these cabinets, because along this wall here is going to be a workbench. In fact, yeah, I'll put one here. And I do want to try to make them all the same height, and for aesthetic reasons. So let's say I put the top of the box at 48 inches. All right, there we go. On to the next one. All right, there are my boxes. Now what I have to do is drill holes through here. That's going to be done with a, let's see what bit I've got available. Preferably a 1/2 inch or 3/4. Well, I've only got one wire going through, so I should be able to do this with a 1/2 inch, because I got 1/2 inch clips. Yeah. All right. So what I want to do now, let's run this about 10 inches above the box. I'm just going to put this one a little more than 10 inches. Good. All right, there are my holes. Now I still have to go up through here. I have to get the ladder and go up through the top plate where I'm going to be bringing the wire in. And this is my 12-2 wire, and fortunately I'm not going to need a lot of it. A hot, a neutral, and a ground. So what I'm going to do, if I had the light here with a ceiling fan, I'd be running 12-3 wire. 12-2 is all I need because I'm not doing nothing fancy in here. So I need to come out of this box with 6 inches. I like to unwind some of it if I can before I get started. I need an electrician's pouch. Obviously I'm going to have to get one of those. So let me go through here, down in. I'm going to leave about 6-8 inches out, like that. That's all I need. And then I need enough to come in here. I can bend that down, come in there, like so, down and out about 6 inches. So I'm going to cut it right about here. In. Okay. Now another piece of wire is going to come through these holes. Kind of missed my center mark on here, but we're going to come down here. I knew I should unwound some more. I'll have to after I cut this. Push this one out, or in. Got like little flaps here that you can pull these out, and it's kind of nice because it won't let them pull back up very easily. And this is going to go here like so, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to wrap this around. It's going to come in down here, and I'm going to cut it right about here and see what happens. So at some point the battery died. But what you've got here is there's going to be a wire coming in. That's going to be the feed. Is going to come into here. Then I'm going to come off of that switch through these holes into this box, which is this one. Then back out of the box, up the hole, across, down to this set of receptacles, and then finally to the end over here. So that's the rough end wiring of this wall. There's a couple things left to do. Let me grab a couple staples. Now again, I don't have codes here to worry about or inspections to worry about, but I'm trying to do it and show some of the things that codes say to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I think codes are written to make things safer. So what I'm going to run now, quite simply, these are supposed to be stapled to the wall within 6 inches of the box. So I'm going to press this wire up against here, like so. All right, there, the receptacles or outlets, whatever you prefer to call them, are wired in. Now, I need to run a wire from here going out to the load center, service panel I put in over there. And I need one to come out of here up to the lights I'm going to run across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about a 20-foot piece, because I'm going to run 2 fluorescent light fixtures in here. This is 10 feet wide. I'm going to go up and over. And then that one, I'll hook up that fluorescent light and then run a wire to the next fluorescent light. Because I want both lights to come on when I hit this switch. And if I need lights under these cabinets, I can always plug in a light. I have plenty of receptacles against this wall now. So let me fish out some more wire. So let's go up and do some drilling. All right, get up here. Let's do this right here. All right, now I'm going to throw this wire for right now over that. So I'll get the ceiling in here. Oh, I got plenty. Sure thing. And then down through here. I got way more than enough. But better too much, of course, than not enough. Alright, so I got plenty to go up now and energize the lights in the ceiling. That's what this is going to be for. I'm going to get a Sharpie. I'm going to mark receptacles, lights, and the third wire will be feed. So I know what all of these are when I get ready to finish all of this and put all my receptacles and switches in. So now let me get wire run out to go over to the service panel. Let's see if I have enough wire left on this roll. This was left over from the cabin. So if I come up here, I obviously have to go over this quite a ways. Come out of there and up over this, like so. I mean, fortunately, this is a barn, so I don't have to run all this conduit and everything. Alright, let's see if we can get this over here. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna work. Alright, let's see if this makes sense. I don't have the ceiling or the roof on top of the tool room yet. So it's going to be hard to like drill through the rafters or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is drill through this wall here. We'll bring the wire down, jump across to that wall, the outside wall, and drill through the studs and bring it down to the switch box. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And if I do that, then I'm going to need I'm going to have a lot of wire left over. Let me get my lineman's block cutters. That's going to come across. Going to come off of that from right there. Come across these like so. Down to the switch box. And I'll leave some extra. Because I have plenty. So, now, let me try and show you what I've done here. Using my phone as a camera. That is the service panel. This is my home run, because it runs from the room, that tool room over there, all the way home to this service panel. I got plenty left over. And what it's done, it's going in the top of the box. That's why I turned the box upside down. I've got it up above those joists up there. I got one staple in it for right now, just so I can pull it. And it runs along that. And continues along this rafter. Then I brought it down. See if I can get around to it. Man, well, you can't see it. I brought it down that post, threw a staple in it just to hold it in place. And then I ran it across, because I don't have the ceiling or anything on the tool room yet. I don't have joists up there to drill holes through. So I ran it across and through the wall. You can see a staple there to hold it up, you know. And then inside here, it runs through those cripple studs and through the king stud there, down to a staple, and then down to the switch box. So I have my feed, I have the switch to my lights, which runs up, and for right now, just runs across here. I have plenty for my fluorescent lighting in here. Then off of that switch will come a pigtail to this wire, which is going to go up through the studs, down to a double receptacle there, up through the studs, down to a double receptacle there, up and down to, guess what, a double receptacle there. There's going to be a 34-inch workbench here. These boxes are going to be about 10 inches above the workbench. So I'll be able to plug in all my batteries to charge. They are going to work independent of this switch. So I'll be able to turn the switch off and still have power to those receptacles. But I only had to run one wire, one home run wire across. So I'll show you how, next video is how to do all the receptacles, how to wire all those in. But yeah, my first run, rough in, if you will. So there you have it. Me trying to act like I know what I'm doing. Remember, folks, I am not a licensed electrician. I am not a journeyman. Yesterday I couldn't spell electrician. Today I are one. Nah, I read a lot. Russell sent me that book with code to tell me like where staples are supposed to be, things like that I'm learning. I don't have codes out here. I don't have inspectors out here. In this barn I can run it the way I want. This works perfectly fine for me. This is the first time I ever tried to rough in any kind of electric, I believe, and try to do it the right way. Next weekend, I'm going to wire it into the service panel and wire it up all the outlets and the switches, or the switch. I'm not going to be able to test it until they actually run electric out here for me in a couple of weeks, hopefully. But yeah, that was a nice little test run. To see if I could do it, number one, which I knew I could. But it's definitely easier for two people. I will say that. One person obviously can do it. I mean, I did. I had to go up and down a few ladders and, you know, try to video while I was doing it, and try to talk while I was doing it, and try to read while I was doing it. But you get the point. It's done. You know, when they hook up electric, I'm going to have power in my tool room. And I'm going to be able to charge all my batteries. I don't have to run the generator to charge my batteries or try to remember to collect all the batteries, take them home and charge everything up. It's going to be so nice to be able to do it out here. Next weekend, I'm going to put the outlets in and switches, like I said, and I'm going to run lighting in here. I have a bunch of lights in storage there, LED lights, that my subscriber sent me when he was in California. And I'm going to figure out where I want to put some of those so I can have lighting here in the barn itself. And I will run probably the home run down to the basement next weekend and run some wires around for receptacles down there. So it's going to be busy getting this barn done, but it's going to give me a lot of experience when I get ready to do the house. That's the important thing. I'm going to learn how to do this stuff, learn how to twist the wires, how to strip the wires, what to strip, you know, all the little finesse things that you have to learn and have experience with. I'll get to do it here in the barn. You know, I probably could have had an electrician, paid him his hourly rate. He'd have been done in here in an hour. You know, so if you're an electrician that would have done this in less than an hour, don't laugh at me. I ain't never done it. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I feel accomplished. There is one other thing I wanted to show you before I get off of here. This turned out to be my electric workstation. One thing I wanted to show you is all of this conduit. This is all 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch and 1 inch PVC conduit, 10-foot sections, mostly 10-foot sections. There's a few cut pieces, but there's about 500 feet here, like 50 sticks. I paid our local scrapper guy, who's all the time going around finding scrap and everything, $40 for this. He brought it to me one. He knows I bought stuff off of him before for out here, and he said he'd take $40 for all of it. I said, go get it. He carried this stuff, took 2 trips. This is heavy, on his bicycle, carrying this in one arm, riding his bicycle about 12 feet or 12 blocks. Because I was at work at the gas station. He brought it down and put it all in the back of my truck. But $40 for about, there's around 500 feet of conduit there. The majority of it is 1 inch. Well, it's probably about 1/2 and 1/2 actually, 1/2 inch or 3/4 and 1 inch. I love it. All right, so that's, you know, something else picked up. Well, that was one of the local crackheads, meth heads, that had that behind his trailer for some reason. But anyway, I got that so I can bury all my wires going from the meter to the cabin. The wires going to the house and the wire gets coming here to the barn are underground. They're direct burial cable, so I don't have to put them in anything. But, you know, I got plenty of conduit for anything else I might ever want to do. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know it ran a little long, but, you know, I take my time. I try to do things right, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But this is Joe. I'm going to go home. I'm going to work on this video. I'm going to take me a shower, and I'm going to plan out this barn. So that when I come here next weekend, when I get ready to start working on my electrical, boom. I already know where I want things to go, kind of. We'll see how that works out. You know, I mean, I have this square here to work with. I'm not climbing all the way up in this ceiling or in this roof and doing anything. So I might have to frame up a couple of things to mount, you know, I don't know. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this. I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button. Do blah, blah, blah. Comment. Tell me I did a great job. Or tell me everywhere where I screwed up or I could have done it easier or better. That's what I need to hear. But yeah, I'm heading home, folks. I'm out.